Hey guys, it's APK here with the last episode of Project Rebuild Countdown, which I promised I would do after the release. In this episode, I'll be providing some closing thoughts on the project, and at the end, I'll let you guys choose what my next project series will be. Before I get started, and in case you missed it, I was interviewed in Halo Waypoint's weekly bulletin last week, and if you'd like to read more about the project, there's a link in the description below. To start off this last episode, I think a good topic to address would be responding to the major criticisms of the final product and of the project as a whole. One of the biggest criticisms was that the interior parts of the map didn't have enough color variation and became a quote-unquote maze for people. It is a fair criticism, and all I can say in response is that I tried my hardest to do the best I could within the limitations of the canvas. As you can see here, I tried to keep it interesting with blue flooring and white walls, but even then some areas are hard on the eyes, like this corner. The next biggest criticism was the inability to shoot through the glass at the top of each bubble like you could in Reach. This is another fair criticism, but like the previous one, it is a result of the constraints of Forge. Additionally, in Reach, you could only get about one shot to land against any half-decent player before they took proper cover, and to compensate for the loss of that single shot, it is a tad bit easier to nade the bubbles, especially from Snipe 2. All in all, the distribution of damage being dealt to players in the bubbles should be nearly the same. Other than that, there were really no other instances of reoccurring criticisms of the release, so now I'll move on to the criticisms of the project as a whole. A lot of people questioned why I was remaking a map as opposed to making an original design. My intent is to make these project video series a long-running set of series for each map I choose to forge and highlight. I chose a remake for the first series because I didn't want to overwhelm viewers at the start by giving them a new design to understand and digest, while also talking about and teaching them concepts that they are unfamiliar with. Now that the audience has a better understanding of Forge, I am more comfortable with moving on to more original designs. That wraps it up for this project, which means it's time for a new one, and you get to choose which one I take on. Your first choice is a map called Downrush. This map is an asymmetrical 2v2 map that was originally designed and created by Ponytart and Sickfish in Halo Custom Edition on the PC. I made my own version of this map back in Reach, but never released it, and was interested in making it again in Halo 4 around the time the game was released, and the map was almost finished back in January. The primary topics of the video series would be aesthetics, theme, and creating a good weapon layout. Your second choice is a map that is currently called Tycho, which I started working on back in May. It is a symmetrical 2-base, 2-tower arena for 4v4s, but unlike most Forge maps that try to conquer this niche, I aimed to make this map much more circular as opposed to being a box. The map is about a quarter of the way done, and the topics of the series would be creating interesting map geometry and balancing lines of sight and power positions. And there you have it, those are your two choices. Just comment below telling me which one you'd like to see be the next project series. I want to thank you all for supporting this series. It has been a blast and I learned a lot, which is hopefully something you guys can say too. Alright guys, this is APK, signing out.